Astaghfirullah. You can see that one of the biggest mosque is down. This is another mosque which is in Gaza, and they also have destroyed them completely. Astaghfirullah.
Similarly, if
Now
we were to
Mufti
look at
Menk's
the house
video
of Allah
watched and
subhanahu
very
wa ta'ala,
informative,
clearly
very
there
good.
is a hadith which says, speaking about the congregational prayer, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has said, Salatul jama'ati afdalu min salatil fadhi bi 27 darajah. And according to another narration, bi 25 darajah. That salah which is fulfilled in congregation is better, greater in reward, 25 to 27 times, depending on the narration, than that which is fulfilled singularly. And perhaps one of the reasons is for us to be able to gather as a Muslim ummah. We are part and parcel of one family. We should be feeling the pain. If any one of us has some pain, all of us should be feeling that pain. We should try to reach out to one another in a way that we make the lives of each other easy, not difficult. In a way that we reach out and fulfill the needs of people for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When we help those in need, we are helping them not to show off, not in order to achieve something ulterior, to become known as a very generous person, but rather to become known to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we are trying to fulfill your obligation or the obligation you have placed upon us. This is why if we were to gather in the houses of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala 5 times a day, we would actually get to know each other so well. We would actually get to know the faces. We would get to know the people's names. We would get to know, for example, the condition of the people. In a masjid of this nature, mashallah, where you have so many nationalities that get together, it is a prime and beautiful opportunity for us to become acquainted with the condition of the Muslimin across the globe, to realize the gift of Allah that we are upon, and secondly, to be able to reach out to our brothers and sisters in one way or another. The bare minimum is to be able to pray for them. Isn't it? We come to the house of Allah, our hearts are softened, we call out to Allah for our own needs, so do not be miserly, call out for the needs of others as well. Don't call out for yourself alone, reach out to others. Be conscious of the needs of others. Perhaps Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala may fulfill your needs because of your concern for the needs of His worshippers. As the hadith of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, كَانَ اللَّهُ فِي عَوْنِ الْعَبْدِ مَا كَانَ الْعَبْدُ فِي عَوْنِ أَخِيهِ. Allah continues to assist a worshipper for as long as that worshipper continues to assist his brethren. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make that easy for us. So the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we get together. Brothers and sisters, we have a disease today where we don't even greet one another when we are in the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We don't even want to know one another when we are in the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When we have 1,000 common points, yet we take a look and we search for the one point that is not in common in order for us to stop greeting someone. Where was that taught by Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam? We have 1,000 commonalities, 1,000 points of unity, and yet we take a look or we start searching deeply for one point that may be dividing us in terms of perhaps a ruling of jurisprudence or a difference of opinion in one matter. And we stop greeting, we stop feeling like we are a member of one family. That perhaps is the plot of shaitan, my brothers and sisters, in order to disintegrate the ummah, in order to make us feel like we are totally disunited and disintegrated. What is the point of reading salah in one masjid when all the hearts are totally disunited and fragmented? Surely we should try our best to bring the hearts together. We should try our best to work on the common points in order to be able to deal with those that are not so common. We should ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's assistance and guidance. We should learn to smile at one another. We should learn to greet one another for the sake of Allah. We should learn to feel the bond for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I call on you, my brothers and sisters, to utilize this beautiful facility to be able to get to know one another, to be able to smile and greet, to be able to reach out to one another, to be able to become acquainted with the difficulties that people are facing, whether it is as far as Palestine or Afghanistan or Iraq or Sudan or Yemen or wherever else on the globe it may be. As you know, the Muslimin are going through so many crises across the globe. It is our duty to be able to know what is going on to begin with. Secondly, to be able to reach out to these people in whatever way possible. As I said, the bare minimum is to pray for them, to ask Allah to alleviate their suffering.
We can
and at the
only
same
pray for
time
them.
to be able to appreciate that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed us in a unique way. We reach out to the people. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for us all. May Allah make it easy for all those who are suffering across the globe. The masjid is not just a place where you come in, fulfill your salah and walk out, but rather you come in, you conscientize yourself not only regarding Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but regarding all the creatures of Allah, beginning with humankind. And this is why in the masjid you will find lectures, you will find lessons, you will find adhkar, people who are reminding you of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When we use the term dhikr, primarily we are referring to a reminder, and the best form of dhikr is the Quran, which means to be reminded by the Quran is probably or definitely the most powerful, because it is indeed the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
And this is why when it comes to the hadith of the 7 types of people who will be resurrected in a special way on the day of judgment, they will be granted a special shade. You find one of the categories, رَجُلٌ قَلْبُهُ مُعَلَّقٌ بِالْمَسَاجِدِ, a person whose heart is stuck or clinging to a masjid. A person whose heart is stuck to the house of Allah. When he leaves after Salatul Fajr, he cannot wait to get back for Salatul Dhuhr. When he leaves after Salatul Dhuhr, he finds it difficult. He needs to go for his need, but his heart is stuck in the masjid. He comes back for Salatul Asr. He fulfills his duty. He reaches out to people. He learns and he teaches and so on. Take a look at Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam's era. In Masjid al-Nabawi, he used to welcome those who wanted to know about Islam in the same masjid.